But look at this presentation clicker. It looks like a detonator. Like, it makes me want to press the red button. That looks like that's the one. My Tinder profile used to say, dynamites come in small packages. I didn't want him to be alarmed. Well then, I'll go ahead and get started. Guys, it means so much for me to be here today in Oak Cliff because this is also my new neighborhood. I just moved here. My partner and I just moved here 2 years ago from far, far away, Deep Ellum. Does anyone else live here in Deep Ellum? I mean, not Deep Ellum, Oak Cliff? Oak Cliff? Ooh, hey neighbors. Hey neighbors. But yeah, I've really learned that Oak Cliff is such a amazing community, you know, especially with this type of event that they put on. It really made me feel like home quickly, personally and professionally, and even more so today because I get to be here in Oak Cliff. So I want to thank Art Axis, KERA, Dallas Morning News. Who else am I missing? That's everybody, yes. Thank you guys for putting this on for free and bringing me here. I wasn't free. They paid for quality, just so you know. So, okay, my name is Kathy Tran. I am a photographer, photojournalist, creative entrepreneur, and if you really want to water it down, I'm a content creator. But most importantly, I am someone that is doing everything that I can to be as authentic as possible in hopes of maybe inspiring other people to do the same. I forgot to use the detonator. There it is. Okay, well, I'm not a textbook expert on personal branding. I don't even have a college degree, but I do have 17 years of experience of helping other people build brands visually, including my own brands, which I will go into later. And I think honestly, the key to my success is the two passions that I have in life, art and business. And I feel like if art and business had a baby, it's personal branding, because it's a blend of creativity and strategy to create something that's memorable, something that has meaning and not just for marketing. So today I just want to quickly go over, let you guys know about my journey, do a quick exercise, and go over 3 key strategies for your personal brand. Okay, so I have a multimedia company called Kathy Tran Creatives, where we focus on brand photography and brand videography. My partner does video. Back there, I do photos. And we work with everything from personal brands to commercial brands. But all in all, they have the same goal, which is telling stories and connecting with other people. Within the past few years, my company has grown a lot. It is all through being able to see the impact of having a solid brand. I only recently started investing into my brand like a year ago. I've been working on myself in my brand since I was young, but I actually paid for like graphic design and like more visuals to help with that. And with having a solid brand, that allowed me to scale my business. Now people know I have a team that I can do more projects. Having a brand too also helped me feel more grounded in my own identity to give me just enough confidence to do things that make me scared, like being on this stage right now. Here's some of the work that I do. I shoot a lot of portraits. A lot of my bread and butter is actually from food, branding, events, and I shoot across multiple industries. Some of the national brands I work with is Denny, 7-Eleven, Virgin Hotel, Omni Hotel, Main Event, and then you might have seen some of my work spread across Dallas. I have been working for Dallas Observer, D Magazine, Dallas Morning News, Advocate. So that has been really fun, and I've been doing that for over 10 years. I got out of college, started working for photojournalism, and even though I keep getting bigger jobs, I don't stop because photojournalism is my favorite and I still take those assignments. These are some of the people that I have photographed. I shot the president, Mark Wahlberg, Leon Bridges, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Denzel Washington. This guy, Moses Brings Plenty from Yellowstone. And this is also Post Malone. And if you look at his face, he has no tattoos. So I like to joke that I shot pre-Malone. These are some of the books that I was able to shoot. So you can find these in Barnes & Noble and Target. And my adopted dad is retired, but he works at Barnes & Noble. So he is very proud of me. When you walk into Barnes & Noble, he will sell the book that I shot. I went up there to like meet his employees and they're like, oh, you're the one. keep hearing about you. Your dad is so proud. Okay, so I've done a lot of front covers for the Dallas Observer. I've been shooting with them for over 10 years. My favorite work is editorial work because I love working on conceptual work and also bringing stories to life. And something really cool happened last year. I was working on the Best of Dallas 2023 issue in Dallas, and the theme was actually about influence. So it was so cool. They wanted me to be a part of it. So I got to rock the table of content. Everyone else is there for sports, shopping, entertainment, food, things like that. So table of contents, and we created this in my studio. Something even more amazing happened to me. We were able to open a studio here in Oak Cliff called Kessler Studios. So cool because it's two separate buildings originally built by another photographer in 1986. So when I look at the electrical box, I can see that they had a print room, a red room, like old school photography. It's become more than just a photo studio to me. It is a community where we have had sound baths, sport classes, we even have book club, and then we also host a music festival at the studio that's put on by the neighborhood, which is coming up on December 14th, and it's also free. But while I was building my brand for the studio, I realized that the collaboration is the heart of Kessler Studios. And that's what personal branding is. It's about who you are associating yourself with. It's who you are seen with, who you're working with. It's the people, the experiences, and the connections that shape the way you want other people to look at you. And then times that with your current reputation. All right, so I wanted to fly through my credentials to let you know how awesome I am. And now I want to find out what makes you guys awesome. Raise your hand if you're an introvert. Okay, keep an eye on these hands. All right, so I want to take 5 minutes for you guys to meet 3 people that you don't know and introduce yourself. Let's go. I think you might have to stand up for this. Just 1 more minute. Say your goodbyes. Did you talk to anyone? Okay, good. Okay, so can someone share with me, raise your hand, and tell me out of the 3 people, who do you remember the most? I'm gonna call on you. Okay, yes. Short-term memory.
No.
What?
Oh, you're
What stood out about them? Out of the 3 people you met?
No, I can't.
I'll come back. So something I noticed that when you're introducing yourself, it's how you make yourself more memorable. And sometimes it's not even like what you say. Sometimes it's like your energy or your vibe. You know, it may be your hair that makes you more memorable. It might be a scent that you smelled on them and it reminded you of something else. So I hope that that gives you insight on how you have been introducing yourself and how you're representing yourself, especially really quick with no guidelines to strangers like this. So keep that in mind when you introduce yourself. Put something out there that is like really quirky and interesting. So I had Paco, who is an artist here in Fort Worth. He came up to me and we were talking, and I tried to throw him like some weird quirky facts that are just non-related to anything, just to stick in their minds, because a lot of times we're asking like, what do you do for work? What do you do? You know, like, it's kind of boring. It's more like, what keeps you busy? You know, so it doesn't have to be what you do. It could be about the personal things that you are interested in. Cool. I like that. That was fun. Okay, what is personal branding? Okay, I know that personal branding might sound like a buzzword, but I feel like it goes deeper than that. To me, it's a journey of self-discovery and even a healing process for me. Because in order to have a personal brand, you need to do a deep dive on yourself. So, and if you have the funds for it, get a therapist. That'll help you reach that even faster. If not, talk to ChatGPT. They're great therapists too. So, personal branding is a combination of your voice, your style, and interests that makes you unique, and it's how you want the world to see you. So with personal branding, while yes, building a brand can increase your income, it is also something that would allow you to have more opportunities that you wouldn't expect. So for me, money used to once be about survival for me, and it was about safety, because when I was 13, I was homeless for about 6 months. I slept in slides. My janitors let me in for the schools when it was cold outside. I took showers in the school. So it's still emotional when I think about it. So that really taught me how to work harder for what I wanted. And my ambition was driven by the fear of being homeless. But now my personal branding has allowed me to create such a custom career. And now I'm able to do something that I love and also bring on a bunch of other people who are starting their dreams and want to do something creative, but they don't want to work in an office. So personal branding can really allow you to do what you love. It's a tool for your freedom and your creativity. And it doesn't really matter what business you're in because you're still a business, you're still a personal brand. You have to represent yourself. So here's a quote from Deep LM that you can find that I really like, that I really resonated with. Being good in business is the most fascinating kind of art. Making money is art, and work art. And the good business is the best art. And that felt like I really resonated with that. So I wanted to know what you guys are hoping to gain from building a brand. I'm sure it's freedom, income, maybe a mix of both. So I just want to get a quick temperature of the room and see what kind of industries you guys are in. So when I point at you, call on you, just tell me real quick what you do or what industry you're in. Burnt orange shirt with a nice shiny bald head. Awesome. Okay, cool. Pink fuzzy shirt, looks comfortable. Creative arts visuals, very broad. She probably does a little bit of everything. You, beautiful lady with the button right here. You're beautiful too. I'll come back.
They use my art to advocate for animal welfare.
Ooh, cool. Okay, you too. Okay, awesome. That gives me an idea of the crowd that's in here. It's definitely art hack. Everyone here is creative. Okay, so I'm gonna go through 3 strategies of how to pin your purpose and make your brand more powerful. I'm gonna go over visual branding, brand story, and social media. And you probably already know some of this, but sometimes hearing it again at a different place in your life might stick. So when we think of a brand, we all know, we kind of immediately think about colors and logos. I have multiple brands under my business, and I've only started separating this out a year ago. And I created a brand where they still look unique, but they still have the same look and feel. One of the transitions I had to do for my brand is that top brand right there, Kathy Tran in the circle, I've had that for, 10 years. So I've been working off of my own personal brand. And other people who are my second shooters have been working for my personal brand too. And I realized, I really want to step out and be something beyond and not as professional. So I needed to create a business account for my media company. The second one here is my photo studio. Kathy Tran Eats is for my food personality and how much I shoot food. And then the last one is Kathy Tran Love, which used to be for weddings and engagements, but it's also going through a transition. I'm working on a love letter project that I'm going to be launching next month. So I really think that the key is to be consistent. And every time I go to a branding talk, people always say that, but it's consistency that builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. I worked really hard to say the word familiarity right. I couldn't say it earlier. Okay, so let's talk about branding portraits and photography. This is really important for you guys to have. It's almost like the first thing they see, the face to put onto your brand. And when I shoot with people, I try to tell them I want to do 3 shots of you. First one is gonna be a professional headshot. That way you can use it all the time for speaking engagements. It's evergreen. It should not be seasonal. You can use it for a long time. Second look should be a more casual look that shows that you're more like approachable and welcoming if that's your brand. And then the third shot should be a lifestyle photo of you that's showing you in your environment and doing what you love to do. I think people need to visually see that. So that's why there's always so many photos of me on the internet taking pictures or eating food. And this is just an example of what corporate branding looks like. And this photo right here is actually one of my favorite photos I took a couple weeks ago. You're seeing a sneak peek of it because it was for Dallas Morning News. They do a annual top workplaces that they publish every year. So this year I got to hop on this project, put a little bit of Riz on it. And this is Kevin Hochman, who is the CEO of Brink President of Chili's, Maggiano's. And I did get like his corporate headshot, and then I wanted to show something really fun. So I dared him to play a game of ping pong. And then this is what portraits for creatives look like. Those are always really fun. top left, that guy is the oldest male stripper in the US, and I got to shoot his last show, and oh, the back of the strip club is just not pretty. It's kind of dirty. You just don't want to step on anything. But by the end of the night, I was able to capture this front cover. I thought I was gonna walk out with nothing, just him on stage, but I saw the bags of money that he was putting into trash bags, and I was like, hey, let's do a shot where we throw the money up. And within the last 5 minutes of me being on site the whole day trying to get a cool photo, it ended up being the last photo. Okay, so I have a fun case study. Okay, a few years ago, my cousin dad came to Dallas from Beaumont, Texas, and he came specifically to get headshots for LinkedIn. But then I was like, stop playing. I know it's for Tinder. Same thing. So, like I said, I got him in a nice jacket, got him in a casual outfit. I put him into a bar setting so he looks like he's a social guy. We ran out of time, but my third shot was gonna be of him with a super cute dog, because that would be like the perfect bait for Tinder. When he started using the photos that I took of him, he actually saw a huge spike in matches on Tinder. Plus, Dallas is a bigger city too than Beaumont, so I think that also adds to it. And last weekend, exactly during this time right now, last Saturday, I went to a family wedding and we saw each other, and I met his girlfriend of 3 years. It's been that long. So guess what? I talked to her and she said, oh, you're the one that took the photo. That's what hooked me in. He doesn't usually look like this. So that is the power of having good photos. So remember, photos aren't just for businesses, they're for making connection. Okay, middle part, brand story. And this is where your vision comes in. This is how I explained what a vision is to 150 15-year-old girls last month. A vision is like a snapshot of your future dream. It's what you hope to achieve in life and something that gives you purpose and direction. So we can't go into details of how to get a vision, but here is mine that I worked on recently. I strive to live purposefully and authentically, embracing my story and inspiring others to pursue their passions in life, in art, life, and the business of bringing ideas to life. Okay, Oak Cliff Assembly. Theirs is foster collaboration and support the growth of the creative community in Oak Cliff. Here's KERAs. To serve North Texas and through the public television, radio, and multimedia resources to educate, engage, inspire, inform, and entertain. I feel like I've heard that on the radio. Yeah. So if you look really closely, I feel like the larger companies always have a vision brand. You're never too small to have your own vision. And your vision can always change as well. It really is about spelling it out for people. I post so much content on the internet, and then I just assume that people would know all the brands that I have, but you know, the algorithm is just off, and so it spits it out at random times for people. So you can't just depend on people to know who you are. So having personal brand is about spelling it out for people. So even last month, I restructured my whole website and put right at the top of our vision brand and what we do. And then I told them what we offer, which is photos, videos, and creative services, and then who we serve. So that is a big change on my website, to have a home landing page that explains that this is not just my art portfolio. This is a multimedia company that can handle large campaigns or small mom and pop businesses. And with this, I have noticed a higher traffic in inquiries, because now it makes it approachable for other people to know what you serve and what you do. Okay, so still on brand story, I have a confession. I have a cheeseburger collection. This was an accident. So every time I got a new cheeseburger, I would post it on my stories. It was never good enough for my feed. It was just on my stories, and because of that, I accidentally built a brand that people associate me with cheeseburgers, so now I just don't stop getting cheeseburgers. My last birthday in September, all cheeseburger related stuff. Had no idea how much cheeseburgers were out there. And I know it's kind of like a quirky collection, but this represents my journey of being adopted at 14 years old by my Caucasian parents, who happened to be my elementary school counselor. Yeah, super sweet story. Dallas Morning News wrote a story about that in 2012 when I was a senior in high school, and that was like my first time being in press. And with that article, I took it and sent it off to all of my scholarships and use that to tell my story. It's also a representation of my cultural assimilation, and this accidentally ended up becoming very memorable about me when it comes to Kathy Tran Eats, my food personality, and it's only been this last month that I've been running with it. So your brand story can be playful. I don't think it has to be that serious, and that's why I love the Eats brand. It's just so silly. What matters is that it's authentic to who you guys are, and I was posting authentically of what I liked, cheeseburgers. Third section is social media. Now that you have your visual and then you have your brand story, you want to put it together and funnel it through social media or anything on the internet. I think that this is the most underrated resource, and I came up with this idea like a month ago. I knew I was gonna talk, and I was like, I'm gonna keep working on my brand to bring it up even further. So pin posts are the first 3 posts on your feed. When you pin it, it doesn't go away, it just stays there. So to me, pin carousel posts are kind of like your mini digital business cards. And it's like a mini portfolio. Like, you should treat it as a welcome mat. So with this makes it really easy for people to know exactly who I am and what I do. I have nothing to prove because I've already written it down here for other people to get from me. So with the 3 posts, I call them posts A, B, and C. I'll show you what one whole carousel looks like. So A is like the first line, B is the second, third is C. And maybe a little bit overwhelming, but you'll have to go on my Instagram and like really slide through it because it allows people to be a little bit more interactive. But here on my studio, for every A post, the first post, I put down what my vision is. So every single one of my brand has a vision, and they're all very like similar, but there's something that is unique about them. All my brands are still bold but approachable. And with this too, you don't even need to go on Pure Space or Gigster. You can see exactly what the studio looks like and what we offer. And then just to catch people up to date, I'm able to put events at the bottom that I have yearly. So this one here is the Music Safari, where people in my neighborhood who are musicians and artists, about 12 homes will play simultaneously on their porch. And because I'm not a musician, I bring in other local artists and use it as an excuse to throw one big party. So this one is like the A post. The A post is about the vision. This one's my personal brand. I got my vision statement right here. And then I don't want to confuse people, so I tell them, if you want to work with me personally, this is how you do it. But if you want to work with me professionally, it's a different brand. Okay, Kathy Tran Eats is my favorite because it's like more fun, right? I think with personal branding, you have to tell more stories about yourself so that people can relate and understand and know a little bit about yourself. Most people know me as a food photographer, but they didn't know why I was so connected to food. I started in food photography because that was how I was eating in college, and then I just never learned how to cook. But here, I would let people know something about myself, like, yes, I'm in the food and hospitality, but my favorite meals are actually from Beaumont, Texas, where my family is, because they catch their own fish. We eat crabs, crawfish, and then now I'm like super intentional about my cheeseburgers. I'm just blazing with my cheeseburgers now because I realize it's has picked up so much. So really, these are brand pamphlets, and these posts tell people who you are in just a few seconds. And they are kind of complex and a little overwhelming. But like I said, if you go on, just take a look at it. And if you want to make your own pin carousel post, please message me. I would love to take a look at it. I would love to give you some sense of structure. I think every brand is a little bit different. So this is just one of those examples. Third slide, which is the C post, the third pin post, that actually shows all of my brands across all of the brands. So that's my way of connecting everything together to give people a better picture that this is how we operate and connect. Just like this beautiful space that's being restored and reimagined, it's like having a personal brand because it's about redefining who you are. And I believe that we are all works in progress, just like Oak Cliff Assembly. And I believe that it's about the commitment to growth that brings out the beauty and uniqueness in all of us. I believe that you already have everything inside of you to be an amazing personal brand. You either just don't know it yet, or you just don't know what makes you special.